Yes, we are waiting for others to join us. Um, this is another opportunity for us on innate immunity. Okay, innate immunity. So I want to believe that others, while they are coming in, they will be joining us. Let me proceed with the lecture of today, and it's going to be centered on innate immunity, which is also known as non-specific immunity. That's the body first line of defense against any infection. The other time and the previous lectures, I made mention that different types of immune system. So, and we have innate immune system, and the other one. Uh, so, our the other one, which is acquired, from the word acquired, we will know what exactly it is all about. So, without wasting our time, our focus is going to be innate immunity today. And just like I said, that's going to be the first body line of infection. So that is the immune system that we are actually born with. So, and it is early, it is the first line of defense that any pathogen or any parasite is going to encounter, or foreign body that is going to encounter whenever there is a host immune system interaction. In this presentation, we are going to focus on the following keywords or key terms. What innate immunity is all about, we'll look at it. And we also know that another word for innate immunity is non-specific, because it is naive, it is new to that kind of environment. So, and we also look at what are the basic type of basic systems that are involved in defense mechanism against foreign infection. So we will be able to also look at natural defense mechanism. That is, what has nature endowed us with when it comes to the mechanism of protection. So then we are going to look at phagocytosis. Phago from the word cytosis. Phago, that is solid. Phagocytosis, that is eating up of solid foreign materials. So we'll look at the inflammation. What role does inflammation play in innate immunity, as well as a fever? Why is it that at a point in time, whenever there is any infection, uh, fever is part of the symptoms, or one of the symptoms that is going to start manifesting whenever there is a invader in the human system. Then we also look at complement system. I told us earlier on that a complement system, from the word complement, is playing the role of complementing what the other types of immune system cannot do, just complementing, coming to help the immune system. So, and these are set of about 20 to 20 something, 27 proteins that are coming together to form the complement system. Then we'll look at what are the advantages, or what are those physical barriers that the nature is actually endowing us with. So then, what do we mean by chemical defenses? So without wasting our time, it's going to be a very short lecture, and let's just move and dive into what we have today. I still remain Adeoti Olatunde Michael. I am the CEO of Omega Bio-Edutainment. This is another opportunity for you to learn at Omega Bio-Edutainment educational series. Okay, so the summary of what we are going to see today, the summary of innate immune system, that is a kind of the map that we can actually picture when it comes to innate immune system. In this presentation, we are going to see what role does skin and mucosa, what role does it play? Is playing physical role of protection. Then we'll also examine the role of chemicals like enzymes and pH. What role do they play in maintaining the integrity of the immune system? Then the other one is cellular immune system, cellular innate immune system, like a phagocyte, what role do they play? Natural killer cells, what role do they play? Then we also examine molecular role. That is, that is another way that the body can actually use to fight against infection. Molecular, which involve the complement system as well as the recruitment of cytokines. So then generally you will know that innate immune system provides rapid and very broad protection, and that's why we said it is not specific. It is not being tailored towards either parasites, viruses or bacteria. So this one has a very broad protective mechanism, so it can fight against different types of infection from different microorganisms. So, and that's why we call it innate, because that is the one we are born with. Okay. So, immunity. What do we mean by immunity? We are not used to that. We are very much used to that. Immunity is the ability of an organism to fight or resist harmful microorganism or any toxin. So we are being exposed daily, every second, to challenges that ranges from pathogenic challenges against different foreign particles, including from food, from our environment, and so on like that. Even from the air and water we drink from the food, as well as every other source. So the ability of that organism to fight against that infection is known as immunity. And whenever that organism is able to fight against it successfully, we will say that such an organism is immunocompetent, because it is capable of dealing with whatever insult, whatever foreigners that it has actually come with. So, and just like I said, there are two different types of immunity. We have innate, which is non-specific, which is our focus for today. The other one is acquired or adaptive. From the word adaptive, that means it must have prior experience to it, unlike innate immunity that is just naive into such kind of insult. So innate immunity is the first line of defense present from birth. So we said that. So you can also define immunity as resistance to infection or diseases. That's another word. If you don't want to define it as the ability of organism to resist or fight against harmful bacteria or harmful microorganisms, you can also define it that it is ability or resistance to infection. Uh, then another definition is that it is a state of protection, the state by which our body is able to protect itself against foreign invaders. Okay, and physiological defenses and mechanisms are actually used in preventing and prevention of certain diseases. All these could be the way you might actually prefer to define your own immunity. Okay, and the general overview of innate immunity acts immediately against invader. It is very quick to act, because it is very present at all the times in almost all the cells. So, and that is the gift that the nature has actually given us. Okay, then it provide a non-specific defenses, just like I said, because it is not directed at any particular pathogen. So if there is a parasitic infection, it will it will recruit its own army to go and fight against them. Okay, then this can be in form of a physical, it could be chemical, that is recruitment of or synthesis of certain chemicals. It could be cellular as well as molecular. So that is why we said innate immunity is a natural resistance that has no prior experience. So because it is naive, it is also born, it is an inborn defense mechanism. It is the defense mechanism in which all organisms are born with. And just like we said, it is not specific, and it is very active at all the time. So What are these line of defense that are available to all organisms at all time? The first line of defense is the physical and chemical barrier. This is this can be offered by skin and certain mucous membrane. You will see that before anything will get into the human body, the is going to first the foreign body is going to come in contact with this physical, which is going to be in form of skin. Okay, so it is when the foreign body is able to compromise the skin, that is when it will actually, you will see that there are a lot of function that our skin also do in fighting against infection. There are some that it will be trapped at the surface of our skin. So, and that's why you see the skin is always very oily. You have it so many times. You have it sweat also coming. That sweat is not ordinary water. It is a kind of a certain chemicals that contain hydrolytic enzymes that are capable of breaking down or degrading foreign particles that could easily come in contact to come and infect our the host. So another thing is that the second line of defense, these are secondary line. You see, the first encounter will be at the skin. Before anybody will come in into any, you want to enter any house, no matter what, you have to scale through this. You have to scale through the door, scale through the gates. So all these are physical barrier. Once you have access through the door, that means you can easily enter into that house. But sometimes you can have access, you can scale through the first line of defense. The second line of defense might be too potent for you to be able to enter. And that is the same way, the same mechanism by which the innate immune system also do by providing cellular defenses in form of phagocytes, natural killer cells, and sometimes inflammation and fever. So, and the third line of defense, this is when there is going to be recruitment of adaptive immunity, which has to do with production of antibodies and other lymphocytes, which could be either T cell or B cell. Okay, and okay, we are going to see more of this about the adaptive immune system when maybe next time. But don't forget that today's our focus is going to be on innate immune system. Okay, so the skin as a physical barrier. What role does the skin play in eradicating or in removing or fighting against foreign body? Okay, number one is that the skin prevents microbial entry. There are some microorganisms that our skin are capable of removing, just like I said. And why? How do they do that? Because they contain components. Their major component is the epidermis, which contain keratin and acidic secretion, which is so powerful and potent to the level that it can remove certain microorganisms from our body. Then the constant shedding, you just see sometimes you just discover that your skin might be oily, sometimes your skin might be dry. So because sometimes it's going to be wet, all this is part of the mechanism that the skin will put up in order to be able to remove or fight against certain infection. And now some of us might be confused when you come across the word keratin. Keratin is very present on the surface of the cell and is an important component of the skin. So because it forms a fibrous protective protein, that's keratin, and it is the structural component of the skin, and it is found as an outer barrier against certain infection. So that is what we are trying to say. Okay. Now the second aspect of the physical barrier is the mucous membrane. How will the mucous membrane also play certain role in defending the cell against the foreign body? So the first one is mucous membrane is found on the surfaces of respiratory tract, digestive tract, and in the urogenitals. So, because they are present there to secrete mucus that will trap certain microorganisms. And that's why the surface of this mucous membrane is hairy, is cilia-like, in order for it to be so potent to remove and trap microorganisms. So the mucus is so sticky in order to be able to trap particles. Then it also contains a very fluidy or fluidous membrane in order to be able to perform its role. Then it also help in barrier preventing of a pathogen infection. Okay, the chemical barriers, when you discover, you will see that sometimes the saliva is slightly acidic, and some of them sometimes might be slightly basic as well. So the serum that is found in human is acidic, which operates within the range of 3 to 5. That means it is acidic. Then the lysozyme, which is found in tears, saliva, is capable of breaking down bacterial cell wall. Then the gastric juice that you can see, the hydrochloric acid that you found in the small intestine and the stomach, they are also so perfect to be able to remove juicy pathogens from our body. So lysozymes, they are substances that have antibacterial enzymes in their secretion. So don't forget that one important component of a bacterial cell is the presence of a layer that is called peptidoglycan. So lysozyme has the ability to break down hydrolytically, to be able to break down peptidoglycan of certain bacteria, whether gram positive or gram negative. So they have that capability of breaking it down. Then lysozyme is a kind of natural antimicrobial defense, so that is also being put in place. Okay, then this one is going to lead us to, there are certain microorganisms that naturally they are found on the surface of a human, and what part of the function they perform there is to be able to help to boost our immune system. So normal microbiota that we also call the normal flora, this one competes with pathogen for space and nutrients. So that is one of the reasons why we also have a normal flora that is made up of a microbial community on the surface of our body, in order to be able to fight against the foreign body. Then they have the capability to produce an a substance or a chemical that is called bacteriocin. So this has the capability, or it has the capability of inhibiting or preventing the entry by certain microorganisms. So all this is part of the mechanism that is being put in place in order. Don't forget that we are still considering the innate immune system. I have defined immunity for you as the state in which in which a certain immune system is capable of removing or fighting against the entry of microorganism. Okay, now what do we mean if we talk about normal flora? Normal flora are microorganisms that are naturally present in the body. Some of them, like in the skin, we have staphylococcus epidermis. We have the one that is naturally present in other surfaces, like in our intestine, on our skin, in the gut, in the urinogenital, and so on and so forth, like that. But the reason why they are there is to be able to help us to maintain certain temperature that will be intolerable for the presence of a microorganism. So then normal flora, they also exist as commensal organisms that are also providing protection. So So they are non-pathogenic bacteria maintaining balance. So you should know that if you say microorganism, a certain microorganism is a normal flora, that means normally it is not going to cause any infection. Although they might be opportunistic in the sense that whenever your immune system is low, they can also take advantage of that, of also causing infection. But that is not our focus for today. We just want to see the generalization of how innate immune system plays certain roles and what are those components that they have in order to be able to protect the human body against certain infection. Okay, part of the cellular defense mechanism is through the process that is called phagocytosis. Phago means engulfing, swallowing, and they have the capability. There are certain cells that they are called professional phagocytes. That is their own. Just like we have some that are professional soldiers, professional army, professional air force, and so on. But there are certain cells that are present in the innate immune system that their own work is to be able to swallow the enemy. So they have that capability, and these are called the phagocytes. Uh, and how do they do that? The first one is to use a mechanism that is called chemotaxis. Chemotaxis means that they will have the ability, a phagocyte will have the ability to be chemotatic. That is, it is going to have the ability to draw the foreign body, or is going to draw the foreign body of microorganism to itself. So after having that capability of drawing, so that is a chemostasis in biology. And the next one after that is adherence. It is going to stick out. It has the capability of forming a very sticky substance around the enemy, so that it is going to have a grip over it. So after it must have gotten adhere onto it, the next thing is that it is going to ingest it. It's going to swallow it. So after ingestion, it's going to digest it. And the next one is that it's going to exocytotically remove it from the body. Okay, so that is the process that is called phagocytosis. The first point is the first process is chemotaxis, followed by adherence, followed by ingestion, followed by digestion, and the last one is exocytosis. Okay, so if anybody asks you to give other way of defining what phagocytosis is, so you can also define it as the engulfment of particles or swallowing of particles, not ordinary particles. Why we are saying particles is that sometimes you might even inhale dust, and don't forget that dust is also, your body should be able to fight against it in order not to cause any havoc on your system. So the next one is phagocytosis can also be defined as the cellular ingestion of foreign material. So the next another point of the definition is internalization and disruption of pathogen. So phagocytes have the ability to internalize and also destroy that kind of pathogen. Okay, so just like I said, mechanism of phagocytosis, like it has the ability, chemotactic ability to attract phagocytes. Then the next one is adherence, which enable recognition of foreign body. So followed by injection and digestion, uh, and so on. So just because of our time, I really want to stop here today, because I can see that some of us, we are not actually following any longer. We are not available. Okay, so the next time, don't forget what we have learned so far today. Today, our presentation, our lecture is centered on innate immune system. That is the immunity that we are born with, the capability, the natural capability of fighting against infection. And what are these mechanisms? The mechanisms that by which we are able or we were born with. So we said that innate immunity is not specific, it's very quick, and it's not directed, and very, very broad, and it is very, very active all the time. So then apart from that, it is the first line of defense, because it has no prior exposure. Okay, now I want to give you an assignment, and that's why I want to stop here today. The assignment is how explain in detail explain in detail how cytokines, natural killer cells, okay, natural killer cells, and what role do fever play in maintaining the integrity, or in maintaining cellular integrity? What role do they play? Okay, then how can you explain the role played by the complement system? So in short, you have to discuss and describe the complement system. You have to discuss and describe the complement system. Okay, so you have to submit that in the comment section. You have to submit that before 9 o'clock today. Okay, submit it in the comment section, okay, before 9 o'clock today. Okay, so many of you are online. You just badge in and badge out. That's good. That's good for you. Just 30 minutes lecture you cannot endure. So without wasting our time, I want to really believe that one way or the other. I don't know if anybody has any question in the whatever. Please let me know in the comment section if there is any problem before we go on. Okay, before we leave. Okay, Oladimeji Kausarat. Yes, your question. Okay. Yeah, I'm already putting. So how will you explain innate immunity to a layman? This is directed to Mustafa Azizat. Okay, Adetunji Deborah, I can see you. Aisha. So without wasting our time, don't forget tomorrow again we are going to meet on another course, not immunology. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Hope to see you